Hello everyone, welcome back to Nalu Mind the Flow. Today we're on day 24 of our 28-day journey, so we're nearing the close of our journey together, and I so appreciate if you're joining just for one day or if you've joined for several or many of the days. So appreciate you being here together with us, either in real time or out of time. Grateful to have you. Nalu, for the past several days, has been exploring some pretty deep stuff. They've been looking at their internal sensations. They've been noticing their breathing, noticing their internal sensations, even at the same time as they interact with the world around them. We've spent a couple of days with Nalu also setting some intentions about perhaps making use of that inner awareness during our daily lives. So for today, day 24, let's go back to our roots a little bit. We've been together for many days now and been practicing for many days. So today, taking it easy, returning back to breath awareness, the very basic, sort of simplest way to come into the current moment. So the breath is a process that's always happening with us. It's always happening naturally. And one of the practices that we are learning from Nalu is just to observe the breath as it comes in and observe the breath as it goes out. And so we'll return to this very simple practice for the remainder of today's time together. So go ahead and sit back and relax. You might like to have your eyes closed or have your eyes open at your preference. If you're standing or walking, make sure you're nice and grounded and feeling the earth under your feet. If you're seated, then get into a comfy spot. And if you're lying back, just feel the care of the gravity as it pulls you down and keeps you safely here on earth with us. And we start to notice the breath. We start to notice the breath come in. We start to notice the breath going out. We might take a conscious deep breath to help us get into the mood and get into the flow, but then we just let the breath do its thing. We let the breath come in and out naturally, and we just observe it as it happens. And as the breath moves into the body and as the breath flows out from the body, you might start to notice that there are slight differences between each inhalation and exhalation. You might start to notice that the breath touches the body in a different place, or maybe entering and leaving either through the nose or the mouth, or might be leaving through a combination of both. And if the mind wanders away or the mind begins to tell a story, that's okay too. Just acknowledge that story and then return back to the breathing as it goes in and as it goes out. And as we key here in onto the breath, we also may start to notice sensations or feelings that are cropping up on the body, turning up around the body. This is very natural to have happen. As we turn our attention into ourselves, we might start to notice things that we hadn't before. You're welcome to acknowledge and experience those sensations. And then you're also welcome to bring the attention back to the breath and just keep observing as it moves in and out. We've also learned from Nalu to remain curious, and so sometimes as we tune in like this and we really start to notice the current moment, there might be feelings that arise too, or there might be other sensations that we weren't aware of that come to the fore. And if that happens, it's okay that happens. That's part of the natural process. Sometimes we might be surprised by them. They might take us aback, and that's okay too. We can then return to the breathing. We can observe the breath, and we can listen to those and observe those and watch those as they happen and go, wow, that's happening. Amazing. How interesting. Even as we then return back and start to notice that the breath is still there. Maybe it's changed slightly. Maybe it's moved where it comes into the body toward when that emotion came up or that feeling. And that's amazing. And so we learn from Nalu to remain curious about that and return back to observing the breath as it happens, even as we come through experiencing those maybe thoughts or feelings or emotions. And as we get closer to the conclusion of our time here together today, we continue to notice the breathing, but we also notice some of the sensations and sounds and feelings of the room around us, the space around us, as we come back to our complete awareness and awakeness, noticing how it feels to be us after a few minutes together of relaxing and attention on the breath. Maybe returning to the room with a little bit more curiosity, or perhaps some more, another little bit of practice at observing the breath. It's something that we can use throughout our day. And I hope it's something that can be useful to you as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here today on Nalu Mind the Flow. We're concluding day 24 of 28, and I hope that we'll see you again on another day. Thank you, and please enjoy.